Hello my dear students, welcome to my next video session on amines. In the previous class I had explained the chemical properties of amines along with some of the uses of amines. Now in this lesson the next part is diazonim salts. This is the last part of this lesson. What are diazonim salts? Diazonim salts are the organic compounds with the general formula RN2X. What is the general formula of diazonim salts? N2X is the general formula of diazonim salts. What is R here? R can be an alkyl group or an aryl group. Look here, the general formula of diazonim salts is Rn2X. Here R stands for either an alkyl group or aryl group, and X can be any ions like Cl minus, Br minus, or bisulfate ion HS4 minus ion, or BF4 fluoroborate ion. So this is the set. These are the set of anions that are possible for X. So tell me what are diazonim salts? Diazonim salts are the organic compounds with a general formula Rn2X, and I told you that R can be either alkyl or aryl group, and X can be Cl minus or Br minus, and some of the ions I have listed here. But mostly this R will be aryl group. If it is alkyl group, we call it as alkyl diazonim salts. If it is aryl group, we call it as aryl diazonim salts. But alkyl diazonim salts are very unstable. They will be immediately decomposed to give off other products. We have studied it in the properties of aliphatic primary amines with nitrous acid. There I had told you, when you treat aliphatic primary amines with nitrous acid in the presence of NaNO2 and HCl, it gives alkyl diazonim salt initially that will be immediately decomposed to give off alcohols on hydrolysis. It will give alcohol because the diazonim salts formed there will be unstable. So that what you can say, the aliphatic diazonim salts are very unstable, so that they will be immediately converted into other products. In the same way, if you take aromatic, these are also unstable but relatively more stable than the aliphatic diazonim salts. That is why preferably we take aryl groups here. For example, if you take one molecule like I am taking R as a C6H5 here, or that is aryl group here. Aryl group is here, I am taking phenyl C6H5, and that nitrogen is there, and X I told you that any one group can be there here. So this is C6H5N2Cl. C6H5N2Cl, nothing but benzene diazonim chloride. Here you can put a positive charge for the nitrogen here and a negative charge on chloride here, or you can write like C6H5N2Cl. Here also you can put, if you take these diazonim salts, you can write like Rn2 plus and X minus. You can write like this. Actually, if you show the bonds between the two nitrogens, it can be written as R N triple bond N and here X minus. So this is the introduction regarding to the diazonim salts. Actually, di means two, azo means related to the nitrogen atom. That is why these are called as diazo compounds, nothing but diazonim salts. Tell me what are diazonim salts? Diazonim salts are the organic compounds with a general formula Rn2X, where R is an alkyl group or aryl group, and X can be Cl minus, Br minus, etc. Now let me tell about the nomenclature of aromatic diazonim salts. I told you that aliphatic diazonim salts are unstable, so that we will discuss everything related to the aromatic diazonim salts. The nomenclature is also very simple for diazonim salts. Here in the nomenclature, the word diazonim is common for all the compounds. So what is common in the nomenclature? If you take the nomenclature, what is common for all the diazonim salts? The word diazonim is common here. Diazonium is common here, and it is prefixed with the, for example, we are talking about aryl diazonim salts. It is prefixed with the arene here. Prefixed with the arene and diazonim, and followed by the anion name you know that what is the general formula? R n to x. So here this is the alkyl aryl group and this is the anionic part here. So I told you that this is the first we have to write the parent arene followed by diazonium, then anion. For example, if you take one molecule like a C6H5N2Cl I am taking here. This is one of the diazonium salts. What is the parent arene here? It is benzene. Parent arene is benzene. So that what will write its name at benzene. I told you that it is followed by the word diazonium. Diazonium. And what is the halide here? X can be any halide or BF4 minus ion or HSO4 minus any ion. So what is the anion name here? Chloride. So what is the name of this molecule? Benzene diazonium chloride. Benzene diazonium chloride. Very simple nomenclature. Let me explain with one more example. I will take C6H5N2 HSO4 minus. HSO4 minus. Here you can put the plus and minus if you need, otherwise you can ignore them. So what is the parent here? Benzene. So that its name start with benzene. And I told you that immediately after writing the arene, it comes diazonium. Benzene diazonium. This is nothing but hydrogen sulfate. So benzene diazonium hydrogen sulfate is the name of this molecule. Benzene hydrogen benzene diazonium hydrogen sulfate is the name of this diazonium salt. For example, if you have bromide, what we call C6H5N2Br, we call it as benzene diazonium bromide. Like that, the nomenclature is very simple for diazonium salts. Let us go for the other details of diazonium salts. If you see these diazonium salts, I told you that even the aromatic diazonium salts are not highly stable, but comparatively they are more stable than that of aliphatic diazonium salts. Let me explain the structure of diazonium ion. Now we'll go for the structure of diazonium ion. What is diazonium ion here? Why I am explaining the structure of diazonium ion here? Because I told you that the diazonium salts are very unstable and that will decompose. For example, this is diazonium chloride. What I am taking is diazonium chloride I am taking here. This is C6H5N2Cl. For example, if it decomposes, we will get N2 plus and Cl minus. This is the diazonium ion. This is nothing but diazonium ion. So I can expand it. So this is the structure of diazonium ion here. I told you that diazonium salts are unstable. The diazonium salts are unstable. And I am explaining the resonance structure of the diazonium ion. This is diazonium ion. C6H5N2 plus is known as a diazonium ion. C6H5N2 plus is called as a diazonium ion. Now let me explain its stability by resonance. I will take the diazonium ion here. So this is diazonium ion where this nitrogen has a positive charge and there is a triple bond. Now what will happen here, as this nitrogen is having a positive charge, these pi electrons is transferred here to form a double bond. At the same time, these electrons are transferred onto this nitrogen. Once again I will say that as this nitrogen has positive charge, it will acquire these pi bonded electrons to form a pi bond here. At the same time, these pi bond electrons will be transferred onto nitrogen. So that we will get one resonance structure here. Look here. In this resonance, here nitrogen has a positive charge, and I told you that these pi bond electrons will be transferred here to form a double bond here. So this is a double bond here, and here I told you that these pi electrons are moved here to get a negative charge. This is the one resonance structure possible. And here what happened here? As it has lost this electron, this carbon has acquired the positive charge. In the next step, these pi electrons will be moved onto the adjacent position to form a pi bond. So what we are going to get? We are going to get one more resonance structure. Here also again that nitrogen will be with a positive charge and one nitrogen will be a negative charge, and here is a double bond form. As this carbon is losing electrons, it acquires a positive charge. In the next step the similar thing will happen. So these electrons are transferred here, and again we are going to get one resonance like here this double bond N and minus here, and here as a pi bond is formed here we can write, and this is the positive charge here. You can see positive charge is delocalized here, positive charge. And here in the next step what it is going to stabilize this carbonium ion, again it takes the pi electrons here. So again these electrons will be coming back to their initial state. So what is the next resonance structure we are going to get here? Look here, the next resonance structure here, there will be N with the positive charge and a triple bond N, and there is a pi bond and here is a pi bond. So these are the resonance structures of the diazonium ion. So diazonium ion will be formed by diazonium salts. How? C6H5N2Cl is there. If it loses Cl minus ion, the remaining part is C6H5N2 plus, that is diazonium ion. After losing, it will have the following resonance structures. So more the number of resonance structure, more will be this stability. So these are the structures of diazonium ion. Let us go for the preparation of diazonium salts. We have only one preparation that is already had been learned in chemical properties of amines. I will write that equation once again. So once again recall all the points. What are diazonium salts? These are the organic compounds with a general formula RN2X. R is an alkyl or aryl group. X can be Cl minus, Br minus and some other anions. So aromatic diazonium salts are little more soluble, more stable than the aliphatic diazonium salts. Aliphatic diazonium salts are completely unstable. This diazonium ion that is formed from the diazonium salts will be stabilized by the following resonance structures. Now let me go for the preparation. Remember that only at low temperatures even these aromatic diazonium salts are stable. Only depending upon the type of salts, these will have stability only at low temperatures. At high temperatures, these are also again unstable like aliphatic diazonium salts. We have only one method of preparation of diazonium salts, that is by diazotization, which is already had been learnt in the chemical properties of aniline. So what is the only method of preparation of diazonium salts? By diazotization. You can write diazotization. What is diazotization? Already I have mentioned. If you take an aniline that is treated with nitrous acid, I told you that clearly. Nitrous acid is unstable and will take the mixture of sodium nitrate and HCl. Even in the earlier class also I had mentioned Na, NO2 and HCl yield as HNO2. So we prepare nitrous acid by treating NaNO2 with HCl. So diazonium salts are prepared by a process known as diazotization. Here I am preparing a aromatic diazonium salts. For example, RNH2 is taken. What are the products? Actually, I told you that this is carried at a temperature around 0 to 5 degrees centigrade. 0 to 5 degrees centigrade, 273 Kelvin to 278 Kelvin. I told you that at high temperature these are unstable and this will immediately decompose. That is why it should be prepared below 5 degrees centigrade. So what we are going to get are, look here, N2Cl. R N2Cl. R here one nitrogen and here one nitrogen and Cl, N2Cl, and Na and Cl will yield NaCl, and we have 2 moles of water. I will write with a particular example. I take aniline C6H5NH2. We are treating aniline with the mixture of NaNO2 and HCl, and we carry this reaction around 273 degrees centigrade to 278 kelvins, not centigrade here, it is Kelvin, 278 Kelvin here. And what we are going to get? Benzene diazonium chloride, C6H5N2Cl. This is C6H5 here and N2Cl. You can put a positive charge on nitrogen here and negative charge on Cl. This is benzene diazonium chloride, C6H5N2Cl, along with what are the other products here? Sodium chloride and 2 moles of water. So what is diazotization? When you treat aniline or amines with sodium nitrate and HCl, they will form diazonium salts. This is called as diazotization, and I told you that particularly low temperature is required here. Initially we take aniline and we dissolve in HCl. We keep that solution in ice. We dissolve NH2 in HCl and we keep that solution in ice and maintain the temperature 0 to 5 degrees centigrade. Ice means that is at 0 degrees centigrade. Again we prepare the solution of NaNO2 and it is also cooled at 0 degrees centigrade. In one test tube we have the solution of aniline in HCl. In another test tube we have sodium nitrite solution. When we mix both of them, the diazonium salts will be formed. This is called as diazonium salts. Actually, the salts produced will be unstable. Usually we don't store these salts in laboratory because being unstable this will decompose. Actually, it is one of the good synthetic reagent. We can prepare so many other compounds by using diazonium compounds. So many other compounds which are difficult to prepare by other methods can also be prepared by using diazonium salts. That is why whenever we require that diazonium salt, we prepare and use it. We cannot store these diazonium salts. As the temperature increases, they can decompose. Let me go for the physical properties of diazonium salts. So, tell me what is the diazotization? When you treat amines with sodium nitrate and HCl mixture, they will form diazonium salts. This is called as diazotization. Now let us study some of the physical properties of diazonium salts. What are the physical properties usually you study? State, solubility. If you take benzene diazonium chloride, C6H5N2Cl, this is benzene diazonium chloride. It is actually a colorless crystalline solid. It is colorless and it is crystalline. All of the diazonium salts will be in the crystalline state only. It is a colorless crystalline solid and soluble in water, soluble in cold water. But the important thing is it decomposes in hot water. It decomposes in warm water. So it is a crystalline solid, colorless solid, and it is soluble in cold water, but it decomposes in it reacts with warm water. Even if you take benzene diazonium fluoride or fluoroborate, not fluoride, C6H5N2F, this is also like it crystalline. It is also one of the crystalline substances, but it is insoluble in water. It is insoluble in water, but it is quite stable at room temperature. It is stable. I am talking about benzene diazonium fluoroborate, that is the C6H5N2BF4. It is stable at room temperature. What is meant by it? At high temperature it will decompose again. Anyway, all these are unstable. So these are the physical properties of diazonium salts. Now let us go for the chemical properties of diazonium salts. So we have learned that diazonium salts are unstable. At high temperature they can be easily decomposed, and I clearly mentioned that when you compare the stability of aromatic diazoamic salts with that of aliphatic, these are little more stable than aliphatic diazoamic salts. Now if you go for the chemical properties, first of all, why these are unstable? This is C6H5 N2X. I am taking C6H5 N2X. This is diazoamic salts. Actually, here there is a N triple bond here. This N triple bond N readily leaves this diazoamic salts. In diazoamic salts we have N2. That N2 can readily leave this molecule in the form of nitrogen gas. You know that nitrogen gas is highly stable. So that why these are unstable, all the diazoamic salts have N2 in the form of N triple bond N. The N2 in these diazoamic salts will be liberated in the form of nitrogen very easily, because nitrogen has greater stability, so that these are ready to liberate this nitrogen. This group is N2 group here is a good leaving group. Leaving group means that leaves the molecule. So that is why these are unstable. Now let us come back to the chemical properties. I told you that the chemical properties, because of their instability, these are highly reactive. But we have the chemical properties of two types. To take diazoamic salts, we have chemical properties of two types. In first type of reactions, nitrogen is leaving the molecule. One first type is nitrogen is leaving. In the reactions in which nitrogen is removed, or that will be leaving the molecule, this nitrogen is removed. And in some other reactions is retaining nitrogen. Retaining means keeping that nitrogen. So the diazoamic salts have two types of reactions. In some reactions, that nitrogen will be leaving the molecule. It will be detached from the molecule and it will be removed in the form of nitrogen gas. In some other reactions, second type of reactions, nitrogen will be retained. This is the first type, and this is the second type of reactions. In some reactions, nitrogen will be there, even in the product. In some reactions, nitrogen will be leaving the molecule. I told you that nitrogen is readily leave in the form of nitrogen gas from these diazoamic salts. It's a very good leaving group. Now let me first explain the reactions where that azo group, that diazo group is liberated in the form of nitrogen. The first reaction is chemical properties Sand-Meyer reaction. Now what we are going to learn? We are going to learn the chemical properties where the N triple bond N is left in the form of N2, where nitrogen is removed. So the very first reaction is Sand-Meyer reaction. This is the very first chemical property of diazoamic salts we are going to learn. What is a Sand-Meyer reaction? We take diazoamic salt. We take a diazoamic salt, here N2X is taken. We treat the same with copper salt. Copper, here for example I am taking copper chloride. Cuprous, this one is copper 1 ion. In the presence of hydrochloric acid, what will happen? Firstly, this nitrogen will liberate. Nitrogen will be liberated, and here the Cl here will be replacing this entire group. So once again I will explain so that you will understand very easily. I told you that in all these reactions, first type of reactions, nitrogen will be removed. So that firstly I will write that nitrogen here. Nitrogen is removed here. And here there is a X, and here is hydrogen. H and X will be removed in the form of HX. So H and X will be removed. This Cl will be replacing this group. That means we get chlorobenzene. Actually you have learned this equation in the preparation of haloarenes. So look here, once again I will explain. Sand-Meyer reaction is nothing but when you treat diazoamic salts with copper salts. Here to substitute chlorine I have taken hydrochloric acid and copper chloride. For example, if you want to replace with bromine, for example CuBr is to be taken and HBr must be taken. Then what is the product going to be? Look here, very simple. Bromobenzene will be formed. bromobenzene will be formed. So what is this reaction? Look here, the same reaction. Here also we are going to take any benzene diazonium salt. What is the general formula? C6H5N2X. What we are doing? We are treating with, for example, I want to substitute bromine, so that here I am going to treat with the CuBr and HBr. What will happen? I told you that in all these reactions, this nitrogen gas will be liberated. So here also nitrogen gas is liberated, you can see. And N2 is removed here. And X along with the H will be removed as HX, hydrogen halide. HX will be removed. So what is left here? This Br will be substituted for this N2X. So we get bromobenzene. Even cyanide can be prepared by this method. What is a Sand-Meyer reaction? This is nothing but diazonium salts when treated with cuprous salts in the presence of hydrogen halides. So we are going to get halobenzenes. Even cyanides can be prepared by using this method. Let me write one equation with the cyanide also. Here I am taking potassium cyanide. All are Sand-Meyer reactions only. But we are entirely removing that N2 and X on the benzene ring, and we are replacing with halide ion or bromide ion or cyanide ion. For example, in order to get cyanide ion, I will take potassium cyanide. Look here. This is what we take benzene diazonium salt here, C6H5N2X. X can be anything, as I said, chloride, bromide or HSO4 minus anything. Now what we do here, I told you that here copper cyanide is to be taken, and if you take copper cyanide and potassium cyanide, here firstly I told you that in all the reactions N2 will be removed. So you can write by default that N2 is removed here. And I told you that N2X completely replaced with the Cn. Or you can write here K is there and X. It will be removed in the form of Kx. K and X will be removed in the form of Kx. N2 is already removed. So N2 is removed and X is removed. Now that will be replaced with a cyanide here. So this is nothing but cyanobenzene. Cyanobenzene. So this is also Sand-Meyer reaction. All are Sand-Meyer reactions only. Just we are replacing this N2X group with the Cl minus RBr minus RCN minus. We remove this N2X and that will be replaced with Cl minus RBr minus RCN minus by using copper 1 salts, that is cuprous salts. This Sand-Meyer reaction. Now let us go for the second chemical property, that is Gattermann reaction. It is almost same as Sand-Meyer reaction, but here copper powder is taken. We don't take copper salt here. Copper powder will be taken. The next reaction is Gattermann reaction. Gattermann-Koch reaction is different from Gattermann reaction. Gattermann-Koch reaction you have studied in carbonyl compound, that is different. And this is Gattermann reaction. What is this reaction? Here also we take the benzene diazonium salts, that is C6H5N2X, that is treated with here we take copper powder, and in the same way here HCl we take. There we have taken cuprous chloride. Here only copper powder is taken. That is the only difference. In Sand-Meyer it is CuCl to replace with Cl. Now what we are going to get here? Here also what we are going to get is same. We are going to get chlorobenzene. N2X will be removed. That will be replaced with the chlorobenzene. That will be replaced with chlorine to get chlorobenzene. And what is the other product? I told you that N2 will be liberated here along with that HX minus here. H plus and X minus. So this is the method of preparation of, not the method of preparation, it is the reaction of diazonium salts in the presence of copper powder and HCl. If you want to get bromobenzene here, the same thing what you can do is if you take HBr, copper powder in HBr is taken, the same thing will be, the same reaction will be yielding as bromobenzene. Remaining part is same here, that the N2 gas will be liberated along with the HX minus. So this is Gattermann reaction. Almost same. But the yield in case of Sand-Meyer reaction will be more. The product yield, production of product, that halobenzene will be more in case of Sand-Meyer reaction. So what we are doing in all these reactions, we are removing this N2X and replacing with some other ion like chloride, bromide or cyanide. First reaction is Sandmeyer reaction, second one is Gutterman reaction. Let us go for the next chemical property. That is nothing but replacing this N2X by iodide. Earlier we have replaced this N2X by chloride, bromide and cyanide. In the next reaction we are replacing with the iodide ion. We are doing replacement here. So for that what we do? We treat with potassium iodide. So when you take any diazonium salt and that is treated with the potassium iodide, what it is going to happen here? You can guess that K and X will be removed. K and X will be removed. And I told you that in all these reactions, nitrogen will be removed. So and what is left here? This I will be replacing this N2X. Look here. So here N2X is removed and that is replacing I. Once again I will explain here. We are and all the reactions we are replacing N2X here. And here we replace N2X by I minus here. This is K plus and I minus. When you take benzene diazonium salt, that is C6H5. For example, here if you want you can take benzene diazonium chloride. So what we are going to get is here KCl will be removed here. K and Cl will be removed. What we are having here, this N2Cl is entirely removed and that is replaced with I minus. What is the name of this molecule? Nothing but iodobenzene. The name of this molecule is iodobenzene and N2 will be liberated. This is the third chemical property. In all the reactions, this N2X part is replaced with Cl minus, Br minus or I minus. We will study the remaining chemical properties in the next class. Thank you.